and fortunately the winds are right now in their favor. You can see the trees are bending though. Look at those palm trees. So you can see just how strong the winds are at the level that they're flying at. But of course, they are so highly trained that they're able to navigate in these strong winds. Sometimes those winds though are so strong that they can't fly. We're not in that situation at this point. So that is what allows these water dropping aircraft from City Fire and County Fire, as well as Ventura County Fire, to continue to make water drops on some of these homes here, at least the brush adjacent to some of these homes, because we are actually hearing that people in the area are evacuating. We are getting reports that some people say that their backyards are now on fire. And that is why that brush clearance is so important in these types of situations, to try to give your home the best chance possible of not catching fire. You need to have that brush clearance. At this point, of course, it might be a little bit too late for some of these residents. At this point, all that you can do is, if you have been told to evacuate or are even under that evacuation warning, it would be a good time to go, especially if it's going to take you a little bit longer to leave your home. For example, if you've got pets or you're elderly and you need a little bit more time. If you are under that evacuation warning, and even though it's not mandatory, it might be a good time to start gathering your things and getting in the car. At this point, the fire does appear to be moving away from the homes, but of course, fires can create their own weather. So there's always a possibility that this fire could turn around and come back east to all of these structures that we are seeing here on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we hate to hear that.
No fire. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Eliana.
No. Oh, I was just going to say, at this point, no structures have caught fire from what we can tell, but I do need to mention the 101 freeway is just south of here, and we are hearing on the scanner that there's a possibility that the fire will be heading in the direction of the freeway. If that happens, that of course will affect visibility on both the north and south 101 through the area, so the California Highway Patrol will likely be shutting that down should the fire continue to head in that direction.
Okay, yeah, sorry, Eliana, that was much more important information. But what I wanted to know is, when we look at a fire like this, and it's really growing, we saw it when it first broke out, you said possibly as a little wildfire there in the yard. How do these aircraft plan their assault? They look like little flies going into this vast area, and yet we see them. They're so strategic. We saw one a minute ago wipe out a line of flames.
Yeah, they really are so strategic in what they do. The helicopters themselves, the pilots on board determine where is the best place for them to make their water drops. When it comes to the fixed-wing aircraft, though, their efforts to get fire retardant on the aircraft is a lot more difficult than some of these helicopters that are getting water. So they need to be precise, down to the most exact moment possible for them to be able to put the fire retardant where it needs to go, because it does take them longer to go back to the airport, get fire retardant back on board, and then come back. With aircrafts like this one, they are getting water nearby and coming to the fire, and they really need to, there's a lot they need to gauge, and one thing is the winds. They need to gauge where the winds are coming from in order to not waste the water that they have on board. Just like that aircraft did, his goal was to get the brush wet here between the homes and where the fire is, but sometimes the winds are so strong that it carries the water to unintended locations. Now, my pilot, James Pollard, was just pointing out to me that we do have additional engines arriving on scene here. They're going to be right under me, so bear with me for just a moment. I'm going to zoom in on some of those fire trucks that are arriving on scene. He counted about 10, and based off of that yellow stripe, that looks like it's going to be LA County Fire that is arriving on scene here to the fire. They're still a little ways out, but these fire crews are going to be so important to the firefight. They're the ones that are going to be out there digging the lines and starting those possible containment numbers to try to start to get some sort of control over the Kenneth fire burning here in Woodland Hills.
Eliana, while we have you in your live shot here from News Chopper 4, you know, sometimes my eyes mess with me here. You could possibly give us a better perspective in terms of where the fire is in relation to where those homes actually are. Can you give us an approximate distance?
Michael, I wish I could say that we were still about a quarter mile away or something like that to give us a little bit of comfort. But these flames are right behind people's homes. I am hearing on social media that some people are reporting that their backyards are actually on fire.
Wow.
These flames are incredibly close. These are probably some of the homes where the flames are the closest. And as I push in here on the palm trees, you're going to get a better feel for how strong the winds are down there. It's a little bit difficult to gauge from up here, but if you look at those trees swaying in the wind, it gives you a general idea of the direction that the winds are blowing and the strength. Now, I just see out my window, I do see some flames. So let me push in on that. But again, this started in this general area as some sort of grass fire, which was already at 20 acres by the time the fire department arrived on scene and made their first radio transmission about the fire. And unfortunately, where this fire is located is close to so many homes. I wish I could say it was just a few dozen, but we're looking at thousands of homes that are literally adjacent on the east side of where the Kenneth fire is burning.
Homes and a lot of growth out there. You can see all the greenery. It's what makes it beautiful out there, but also very dangerous. And we did see the fire that has started that you showed us, and disconcerting to know that people are actually reporting that the flames are as close as their backyards. But luckily, as you said, fire engines are coming in. The aircraft is still able to fly at this point, so that is good news. And hopefully we'll see if they can lay down some more water and fire retardant, because we saw that make such a huge difference yesterday. It made all the difference in fighting the fires from the day before.
Yeah, and that airplane that I was trying to show you, but there's a little bit of a limit to how far my camera can shoot upward. But that's Ericsson's, that is one of the fixed wing tankers. It's going to be coming in, and it's going to be making a fire retardant drop. And if you're in the general area like I am, I'm sure your phone is blowing up right now, as mine is. I'm getting the evacuation warning for the residents in this area. You are being asked to evacuate and, of course, take any prescription medicine that you may need, take your pets, take any supplies that you absolutely cannot live without for the next couple of days. But don't delay, because this fire can be knocking on your doorstep before you know it. But to get back to that fixed-wing aircraft, he's going to go around one more time. Again, as I was saying before, he doesn't want to waste the load that he has on board, because it does take quite a bit of time for him to go refuel that with the fire retardant. So he wants to make sure that when he does drop it, that he is as precise as possible and drops it in the ideal location to save people's homes.
And you're right, Eliana, they are so incredibly good. They train for this. It's what they do. We've seen them take out entire lines. We've seen them save neighborhoods. Just amazing, the work that they do. And hopefully that will keep the fire from spreading. What they want to do is get some sort of, not containment, but stop the forward progress.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.